Learning a language or several languages like me, you must know that taking notes is so tricky. You take a lot of notes from language lessons, books or videos, podcasts, you fill one notebook after another, but it often takes a lot of work to organize, to search and review. Or you just note down a lot of new vocabulary, but never review them again. If you want to know how to take notes smartly and absorb what you have learned, this video is for you. I'm Zoe, a PhD student in sociology in France and now in Germany who speaks 7 languages. Note-taking is part of my life. I have to read many books and papers and learn different languages. After years of struggling and trying out different methods, I finally found some practical ways to take notes efficiently, and I would like to share them with you in detail. I'm going to tell you why I prefer certain tools over others at different learning levels. So this video is structured by my favorite note-taking techniques for different learning levels, beginner, intermediate, and advanced level. Please give me a like if you like this video and find it helpful. It's the best way to support me. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Let's get into the video. The key to smart note-taking is asking yourself the right questions. How to select, organize, and highlight the information to reuse and review them quickly. I don't note down everything I learn. For the beginner level, focusing on pronunciation, basic grammar structures, and frequent words is more important. No need to note down long and complicated sentences or even a paragraph to show you have worked a lot on it, which is often overwhelming when it comes to reviewing. If you note down a word or an example sentence, keep the sentence simple, short, clear, related to your daily life. This phase is essential to keep your interest and build a good learning habit. For intermediate and advanced level, the same principle, be selective, less but useful. One mistake I used to make is to note down everything without selection. I used to read a news article on Al Jazeera for learning Arabic every day, and I checked all the new words and noted down all the long and complicated sentences by expecting that I would memorize everything. First, I copied them into an Excel sheet, translate into English, and then import them inside my Anki. It seems super logical, but it was counterproductive because those sentences were so long, complicated, and heavy. So I often feel very overwhelmed to review them. I still have this heavy deck and I really need more motivation to reopen it. So now I prefer to note down a part of the sentence rather than the whole sentence. For example, now for the articles like this, normally I don't note down the whole sentence anymore. But I don't only note down words because I still need a context. So normally I note part of the words, for example, mu'tamara and munakh, it means the climate conference. It's gonna be very useful. I understand the context. I will just note down this part. I use different tools for different resources and different levels. Excel sheet for the beginner level, Google Doc for the notes with tandem partner, Notability on iPad for language books and articles, new words from YouTube videos and Netflix. I use Reverso. One by one, step by step, I'm gonna explain it. Excel is more beneficial for the beginner period by separating notes into different categories, words and grammar points. I usually start learning a language with a structured book or videos. I usually organize words in different topics like place, time, and food, etc. The goal of this period is to have a basic language structure and gain frequent words. If you want to know more about how I memorize vocabulary with this method, especially for the beginner level, you can check out this video. Of course, you can do it by noting them down in different notebook, but 2 is enough, one for grammar and another for vocabulary. But one advantage of Excel is you can search quickly, reorganize them, and link those notes together. Excel is very suitable for visualizing the whole structure when you review. You can import them into your Anki. Anki is super handy to review at the beginner level. Why I always emphasize beginner level, I'm gonna explain you guys. The disadvantage of Excel is you can't practice your writing skill. Sometimes we memorize better when we write at the same time. My solution to this problem is to write sentences or do notes. So just open this Excel sheet and try to use and link what you have learned, it's actually the active recall. It's more interesting than just repeating Anki cards. I just open an Excel file and try to make new sentences or write journal by using them and linking them together. Let's say you just learned a couple of new verbs, okay, such as to eat. Then add words progressively into food, time, and place categories over time. While you note down this verb, you can add a simple example by using other words, like this morning he eats the bread. Next time you learn a new word, for example, library or something, you can say he eats breakfast in the library, which is super weird for me, these kind of things. To be honest, I don't use Excel after a certain level because I already know the structure of the language. Making constantly different categories just make this document heavier and heavier. So next phase, we have to simplify. When I start to exchange with the tender partner, I will basically note down the date, words, and expressions, short sentences. Then I will put a couple of keywords on the top. I often note down with my tender partner on a Google Doc so we can edit at the same time. A Google Doc on the Drive is very practical. Now it's my favorite note-taking tools for any kind of notes, not just for language learning, even for podcasts, everything. So because I can review them whenever and wherever I want. One important tip, always take note with highlight. It's actually the most crucial thing, but it often neglected. You should assume the future who's gonna read those notes without remembering everything and don't always want to start from the first page. So it will be efficient to keep points, especially the mistakes you used to make, clearly and pop out quickly. For example, while I'm doing my tender exchange, when she corrects me, I will highlight the type of mistakes in different colors. The pronunciation mistakes is in green, new words in yellow, and grammar mistakes in blue. It's super helpful when I review. I directly target my weaknesses rather than browsing everything once again. I read those highlight notes after the tender and the language lesson. It only takes 5 to 10 minutes, but can reinforce my memory. Or every day before my language lesson, I browse those notes quickly. It's actually a very good way to review as well. One tip, it will be more efficient if you read them out loud. The following tool is Notability when I have a higher level and want to avoid writing or copying every new words in an Excel or a document because I feel like I know more about language. I can remember words by their roots and context. So if I study with a book or read articles like news, I often open a file on my pad, and when I note the translation, I write them on the blank side of the book. I don't write it under the word. When I do revision, I will reread the text. I don't read the translation directly, but I try to remember what it means. And I review the whole chapter at the end of the week by just browsing, reading the articles again. The same highlight technique. New words in yellow, grammar points in blue, pronunciation in green, and translation in pink. The highlight style should be constant for all your notes. For the words from YouTube videos on Netflix, I use Reverso to take notes by saving them by one click.
Deutsche Gründlichkeit ist prima, jetzt kommt's aber auf
Gründlichkeit. Then I can directly review those cards on application. But I don't like the space repetition function on Reverso, to be honest. I found it so slow and too repetitive. I can't adjust them. So you can try it out. Maybe it's suitable for you. Another way I do is by exporting the vocabulary list of a period, like 1 week or 2 weeks, on an Excel sheet and browse them quickly as a quick review. It's great that they still keep the original sentences from the video. Now I do this more than just using the repetition function. Another tip for review is you have to write it in your study plan, like 15 to 30 minutes before starting a new lesson. You have to build a habit of reviewing. To sum up, Excel and Anki are more useful at the beginner level. I still use all these tools. I use mostly Google Documents for my Persian and Arabic because now I only do tandem practice to keep my level. but I use Reverso, Notability, Google Documents sometimes, Anki for my German because I'm learning it intensively. I need to watch the news and read articles every day, but I use Anki sparingly, to be honest, because it takes too much time to import notes and to review, and it's just boring. I browse the highlight notes immediately after reading an article or language exchange, and I do a weekly review to go through everything, and the rest is the immersion. Listen, read, and speak as much as possible to remember those words by repeating them in different situations rather than just memorizing them mechanically. So you can try them out. Just find the most suitable one for your level or learning style. I'm just giving you a toolkit. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will try my best to answer them and help you to improve your note-taking skills and language learning skills. If you have a good method, please share them with others in the community. I hope this video is helpful. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. See you soon, guys. Bye.